Early the next morning, the Maruyama-kyo group proceeds to the summit where, alongside the recreational climbers, its members line up to greet the rising sun. As the sun rises and the moment of sunrise is announced over loudspeakers, everyone shouts with joy and cheers their banzai. However, the Maruyama-kyo members linger a few minutes longer to recite their own religious prayer. At the summit of Fuji, we are greeted with a mixture of religious shrines, souvenir shops, and vendors of food and drink. Some commemorate their climb by buying a souvenir. The more religiously inclined purchase one of the many types of amulets that may be worn on the body, hung in a car, or placed in the family altar. Pilgrims customarily have red or black stamps imprinted on their white climbing jacket by the shrine priests. Most pilgrims rest for a while at the summit before making their descent. Some spend an hour or so to make a tour around the crater of Fuji, which from medieval times has been considered a holy trek. Maruyama-kyo has its own distinctive rite within the crater, because this is where its founder received his revelation from the parent Kami. After a short rest and tea at one of the shops, the Maruyama-kyo members climb over the lip of the crater and descend into it, where they set up a temporary altar by placing rocks around the pole holding the founder's portrait. They gather to worship the spirit of the founder and the spirits of their own ancestors, believed to reside in the perpetual snow on the opposite side of the crater. This is a spot where the parent Kami was first revealed to the founder, and where the spirits of Maruyama-kyo members are believed to go after death. After the conclusion of the ritual and sharing of watermelon and sake, the hardy members of the group make a quick tour around the crater. The site of the weather observatory, at almost 13,000 feet, the highest point in Japan, is a favorite place for taking commemorative photos. Facing west from the top of Fuji, the shadow of Fuji is cast by the early morning sun, a famous subject in Japanese painting. Reverence for nature is a major theme in Japanese culture and religion, and tourists and pilgrims alike take in the beauty of the landscape. After completing the circuit of the crater, the Maruyama-kyo pilgrims begin their descent, walking down to the 5th station where they board charter buses which start the journey home. Here we rejoin the Miyamoto Pilgrimage Association, which takes their bus from the 5th station to the traditional inn at the city of Fuji Yoshida, at the foot of the mountain, where they spend the night. Today, as in the past, pilgrimage includes a variety of activities such as socializing, eating, drinking, and recreation.
乾杯。ありがとうございました。
These days, a pilgrimage association may stop off at a hot spring or pick grapes before returning home. However, the Miyamoto Pilgrimage Association holds a special religious conclusion for Thanksgiving, marking the successful conclusion of the ascent. Several days after they return to Tokyo, those who have climbed and other members gather in the meeting place in their leader's home, within the Fuji mansion, to recite their liturgy and perform their fire ritual. Following this ceremony, they have a meal and share drinks, congratulating each other on a successful climb.
本当にこの間、ご協力をいただきまして、宮本校舎の登山も無事に終わらせていただきました。
As the leader tells the group, the fact that they did not make it to the summit is not what is most important. They climbed in earnest and recognized the sacredness of Fuji and its significance in their lives. This is what is important and makes for a successful climb. At the end of August, the formal closing of the pilgrimage season is marked by special ceremonies. In the city of Fujiyoshida, at the foot of Fuji, there is an elaborate fire festival which has become a popular tourist attraction. Because of the ease of travel from the Tokyo area, Fuji pilgrimage groups often go to Fuji Yoshida for this festival. Miniature models of Fuji are paraded through the streets, bonfires are lit on the slopes of Fuji, and huge torches are lit in the streets of Fuji Yoshida. Television cameramen capture the excitement of the festival for the benefit of viewers throughout Japan who are unable to attend the event. This marks the end of one climbing season. Until the next year, these groups meet occasionally and recite their liturgy, expressing and maintaining their faith in Fuji as a holy place of kami and Buddhas. This faith in Fuji, as well as the practice of pilgrimage and occasional ritual performances, helps the pilgrims to be sincere and virtuous in their work and human relationships. Fuji has been a sacred mountain since ancient times, and also one of the most frequently depicted subjects in all forms of Japanese art. In the modern world, Fuji is seen more as a badge of identity for the nation, a picturesque sight, and it is visited more as a famous place or a recreational site. The image of Fuji has changed from time to time, and no doubt will continue to change in the future. The Miyamoto Pilgrimage Group and similar groups are attempting to preserve the traditional veneration of Fuji. Mount Fuji, like Tokyo and Japan in general, is a mixture of the old and new, traditional beliefs and practices as well as modern industry and commerce. How successful these groups will be in maintaining their beliefs and rites honoring Fuji is a question faced not only by Fuji pilgrimage groups, but also by other traditional religious groups. And yet, one thing seems certain, that Fuji will remain close to the hearts of the Japanese people, a symbol of national identity.